Hi, and welcome to Female Entrepreneurs Magazine, your go to platform for ambitious women who are ready to take the business world by storm. I'm your host, Angel France, and each week we'll dive into the latest strategies, stories, and success secrets from the most inspiring female entrepreneurs around the world. Welcome to the Real Female Entrepreneurs. Our next guest is the scientist turned shaman who swapped lab coats for limas and microscopes for mountain spirits. Once a biology professor in the US, she followed her intuition back to Peru, where she discovered her indigenous roots and clairvoyant gifts. When the Apus, yep, actual mountain spirits, told her to make a documentary, she boldly said, "Why not?" Despite having zero filmmaking experience. The result? Journey to the Heart of the Andes, an award winning film sharing Pachamama's wisdom with the world. Today, she helps people ditch that drama, find their cosmic purpose, and channel their inner power with a wink and a whole lot of magic. So open your hearts, raise your vibes, and welcome the one and only Fabiola Baughman. Welcome, Fabiola.
Thank you, Angel. Thank you for having me here.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm just going to jump in because I have a quick question for you. You just came back from Peru, didn't you?
I did last week, yes.
Yeah. So, do you mind telling us about the experience?
It was a phenomenal experience. I took a group of 9 women to the mountains, and the whole purpose was to help them feel what unconditional love feels like. And the mountains of Peru are the best place to feel that vibration. I mean, we have beautiful mountains here in the United States, but over there is this 10 times more powerful because the people of Peru have an active conversation and active relationships with the spirit of the mountains. And when we got there, they can just immediately feel it. It was just like they hit this powerful frequency, and they understood in a second why I was taking them there.
Wow. So we were on a call together and I saw her inside of a van. It was so cool. And I did I see you on a camel or something too?
And the horse, I was on a horse.
Horse.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. That was so cool. Still doing her business, still working, guys. She's on this horse. And I mean, she is actually and in the van, actually still working with her. I don't, were you on your phone, your laptop? What were you on?
I think it was my phone because I my laptop wouldn't connect. So which is like, okay, it's just the phone.
You're just amazing. So you show us that you can actually work from anywhere. That's the
Pretty
key.
much, as long as you have a signal.
All right. So what sparked this transformation that you actually had, if you don't mind explaining, going from the biology professor to the shaman?
I feel that I always had a strong connection with Mother Earth. That's why I chose to be a biologist. But there was something in the system that didn't make me feel fulfilled. So I took a break I was having health issues. And also wanted to raise my children because my husband, as a geologist, was traveling everywhere. And I took a break to kind of just heal myself, right? And that led me into the spiritual world. I was more in the logical world, proven facts. And but I grew up in a family that was extremely spiritual, so religious actually. So I had a strong connection with God. I had a strong connection with the help from up above, and I started practicing meditation because church wasn't working out for me anymore. So I went into meditation, and that led me into developing clairvoyant skills. So once I was fully clairvoyant, I got invited to return to Peru. And while I was there, the spirit of the mountains started communicating with me. I had been in the mountains before, but I never was able to communicate with them the way I did in that journey. And they share a very important message with me. And is that we needed to respect Mother Earth in a better way, that we needed to protect the waters of the world, the rivers in a better way, and that we needed to share. I needed to share that message with the world. So and that really changed me. One of the spirits told me to be a catalyst for change, And I understood that because I, as a scientist, I know what a catalyst is, right? And you don't have to be very big, you just have to be there present to make a big reaction. So as the years went by, and I developed a stronger connection with the spirits of the mountains, they became my advisors. And then one day they suggested, to film the documentary. But before that, I guess your question was, what was a big catalyst? Was to have the courage to go into the mountains and to find out what my life purpose was. That was the main thing. Courage. Yes.
Wow. But you had clairvoyant before. Do you feel like you always had a clairvoyant, but something just when you started meditating, that became more, and then when you went to Peru, it came even more?
Yes, I think I was very sensitive as a child because I could figure out people as they walk through the door, and I think we all do. We all have that. It's a spiritual skill. We're spirits in a body, not the other way around. So, but because we get, I guess the word would be domesticated or trained to be a different person, to be more logical, we shut it down. And I feel like I was always quite sensitive to people's energy, and as I became a scientist, that door closed, and then I had to reopen it again, and it took a lot of training. So, but I did it, and it was just, and it's a pretty open door. So,
Yeah, being clairvoyant is very unique, and you feel things sometimes, and people don't realize what it really is. So do you mind explaining what clairvoyant really is and how they can understand that a little bit?
yes, clairvoyance refers to the ability to see energy. So there are many ways of feeling energy. You can sense it, you can smell it, you can feel it. Clairvoyance is being able to see it. So a clairvoyant person, when I'm talking to a client and they're telling me their problems. Pretty soon I can see images of what caused the problem. Like for instance, childhood trauma, or a relationship issue. I can see kind of like a movie playing in front of me, and I can start, pinpointing what needs to be changed in order to heal that person. That is one of the abilities. Sometimes I feel things in my body, and I can go from there, or sometimes I can just know. Sometimes I just know things, and I know. And not only that, I have my guides whispering in my ear, the spirits of the mountains, the lineages that I work with. They whisper, they're angels, they whisper in my ear, ask them this question, go here, and they help me find the answer to heal this person.
Wow, truly amazing. I have friends who are clairvoyant, but they don't have that healing mechanism with it. So I find that very intriguing.
Right, and that was the connection with the spirits of the mountains that made it happen, because I don't work alone. I work with a whole team of spirits. Big mountains, 20,000 feet. The spirit of the mountain comes to me and helps me in my work.
That is truly amazing. So, we talked about your younger self actually knowing that you've had some of the clairvoyancy back then. Do you mind telling us what you would go back and tell your 18-year-old self if you could today?
I would tell myself to trust not only my intellect but also my intuition, because I knew things that weren't quite right, and like relationships that I was in, friendships or relationships that I should not have been in, that I needed to change. But I perhaps the timing wasn't right, or didn't have the courage to do that, or to follow my intuition to change that. And I think that's important for every person to listen to their intuition as well as their logical mind, to be a balanced person, actually.
Mm, yeah, and so many of us because like you said, once you became a scientist, that door closed and it had to be reopened. And that happens to so many of us as we grow older because, we have that intuition and maybe it's squashed down by others in our lives. Maybe we squash it down. Who knows? Correct? But it does happen.
Right, and it's basically about fitting into the society you live in, to the system you live in. I mean, I chose to be in the scientific world, right? So in the scientific world, if it's not proven, it's not real. So that makes your world very narrow, right?
Mhm.
So what about the emotions, the feelings? Emotions are so important to feel, but that's not something that you can quantify necessarily unless you're in the psychology field, of course. You measure them as chemical reactions, but being able to quantify an intuitive feeling is very difficult. So if you don't assume or you don't accept that as real information, you're handicapped, and that's very very important
Yeah,
to to have that tool.
definitely. Talking about tools, what was a game changer for you in your business that helped you grow your business that maybe even you thought maybe that wasn't going to work, but you did it anyway?
It's for me it's all about courage. I think that's the skill that I have to work in this life. It's just to put myself out there, to network, to feel confident, and to just go with the flow, and that was one of the lessons that we learned in this journey, the element of water and the flow, because sometimes we can be hardworking, really pounding away, but we forget that life is nature, right? Nature, sometimes things flow and sometimes they don't. So when things are not flowing, you need to be aware of what the obstacles are so you can remove them, right? So being aware of that is so important, and to go with the flow. Once you remove the obstacle, where is the flow taking you, instead of trying to reinvent the wheel? That's very important.
That is important. And
Mhm.
talking about obstacles, let's talk about a myth that you wish most entrepreneurs would actually stop believing, because so many of them believe things that they hear. But what would you say?
Okay, so and that's important, because what I love about my work is that I basically imagine yourself as a bubble, right? Or your aura or your energetic field. And I believe that it's so important to have a practice where you remove everybody's voices, right? You have to remove everybody's voices. It's important to have knowledge, but you have to remove it on a daily basis so you can hear your own voice, because the information that you need is within yourself, right? So if you're able to hear where your life purpose is, what your next step is, without having another person telling you how to live your life, I think that is a recipe for success. To really know where you're going. And we get so confused because there's so much noise around us. And we have to almost like perform in a way that is similar to somebody else's path. And we are all unique. We have all a unique path, and we need to recognize that.
We do have a unique path.
Mhm.
Totally.
Yeah.
And talking about uniqueness, I find balance is a uniqueness in life as a general. And so, do you mind telling us how you actually balance, and if there is such a thing a balance, or what do you call balance in your life?
Well, balance is a tricky thing because it really is the ability of going up and down. Really, it's not, you're not always even, right? It's
Right.
about sometimes you go this way and sometimes you go that way. So it's understanding and accepting lovingly that sometimes you're going to be down and sometimes you're going to be up. But on average, you're level, right? So I give you an example. Yesterday, it was the first day I had for myself to get back to work because I had a dog sick over the weekend. After I came back, I had visitors, and I finally got my office back. So I was here and I said, okay, I'm going to walk my dogs, I'm going to do some yoga, and then I'm going to sit and do my work. And everything went out, out the window. Didn't do anything that I needed to do because things got in the way, phone calls, responsibilities, and whatnot. And then I realized, hey, listen, you gotta go with the flow, right? You can't change what happened, but what you can do is, like, once these situations are solved, these obstacles are removed out of the way, then you can back into the flow. So what I did is, okay, I already took care of my family responsibilities, my home responsibilities, whatever I needed to do. Now I'm going to make the time to get back into my work. So I worked a few hours after. Instead of relaxing in the evening, I went back into my work and I caught up. So it's about just finding when is the right time that you can fulfill what you had planned for that day. And if not, it will be another day. But don't beat yourself up because you didn't get to do it. It's just a matter of finding the time and having the right attitude, not to fight it. Not to fight it, because sometimes it's like you come back and say, oh my gosh, the darn dog and the darn husband and the darn child. No, it's part of life. Love it, accept it, and then where can I find my space? Where can I lovingly find that time that I need to for my business, for my work, and for myself?
Yep. Talking about self and talking about finding the tizzy tobble type of thing that we go through sometimes, back and forth, and trying to find how to balance it or which way we should veer and having that positive attitude. What would you tell a woman who is standing in the middle of a mess and she's ready to throw in that towel? What would you tell her?
Go for a walk in nature. Just leave it all behind, because it's all, it's almost like when you're ready to, it's almost like going into battle, right? You have to be strong, you have to be prepared, you have to have the right tools. When you're down on yourself and you feel like overwhelmed, you're not going to solve anything. You're going to overwhelm yourself even further. So raise your vibration, right? So how do you do that? You go for a walk in nature, because nature is the utmost, the greatest healer of all. You go into nature, go into a tree, go put your feet in water or whatever, go for a walk, touch the leaves, hug a tree, whatever it is, so you can raise your vibration. So when you come back, you're at peace. You're at peace and ready to
Mhm.
tackle it all, right? So the mess is still going to be there, but you are going to be in a better mood to tackle it. It's all about raising your vibration, so you can, instead of taking 3 hours of complaining, you can do it in 15 minutes.
That's amazing. I like that. Don't complain. Let's do it in 15 minutes and get it over
Mm.
with.
Yeah. But it's all about being in the right mood. So you need to do whatever it takes to be in the right mood. And sometimes this is what I would recommend to people. Sometimes we try to push through no matter what. You need to raise your vibration before you do that. You have to be prepared, because if not, you're gonna lose the battle. You can't
Mhm.
give what you don't have. You have to refill your energy so you can tackle the job in front of you.
Yeah. All right, let's get a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
Tell us about a sneak peek into your future. What are we seeing? I think you told me one earlier, so I can't
Yeah.
wait to hear it.
Yeah, right now I'm finishing I finished my documentary. It was very successful, thank God. Now I'm writing a book which is called Awakening the Earth Keeper Within:
Oh, wow.
Journey to the Heart of the Andes, as a subtitle. And basically it's about what I learned in the filming of that documentary, my journeys in Peru, and also the journey that I just finished, well, where I took a group to experience what I experienced during the documentary. And it's all about returning to Mother Earth. It's all about again, raising your vibration to a point where you know what unconditional love feels like, unconditional love for yourself. And then you can bring that into your life so you can heal the earth, because you are part of the earth, right? So we forget that we are the earth. And we sometimes, a lot of people, a lot of scientists, unfortunately, and a lot of healers use this guilt tripping, feeling of, oh no,
Mhm.
we need to treat the earth because we're destroying it, and so on and so forth. But we are the earth, so we need to start by healing ourselves, so we can heal the earth. So that's my next project, writing this book, about this documentary, and it should be finished within a month. That's Awakening the Earth Keeper Within. And then I'm going to continue doing more journeys. I still haven't figure out when the next journey is, because I just finished one, but probably soon, because there's a lot of interest. And that will be one of my next steps. And also, one of my biggest goals that I have in my vision board is basically someday have a healing center in the Sacred Valley in Peru.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
That
that's my big ambitious goal, but I know I will do it.
Yeah, that sounds phenomenal. That's like, oh my god. How big are you looking? And are you it's a retreat? Explain a little bit what you're envisioning here.
Something that came to mind was kind of like indigenous diplomacy. That was a very important phrase, because when we need to reconnect this with our indigenous roots, and we all are indigenous of the earth. Okay, so these secrets, this information, it's only known by indigenous people that still have a close connection to the earth. So I would like this center to bring all this wisdom together to share with the world, so we can all learn it and bring it to the world and remember what we're meant to be. So that's the main teaching of it. Of course, it will be more like people staying there, learning and sharing information. So that's what I'm envisioning right now. So yeah.
Awesome.
Mhm.
That is fabulous, and I cannot wait to see that because I know it's gonna come to pass too. It's gonna be great.
Yes.
All right. Now, a little bit more fun. Tell us something about you that would surprise us, maybe.
Um, I've been to mountains that are really, really high, like 16,000 feet, horseback riding and all that. But I am actually not very physically fit. I just, I just go and have fun. Like this time, we rode a horse to over 15,000 feet, and on the way back, I said, I think I'm just gonna walk. But I just, I accept where I am right now, and I just love being in nature, and whatever comes my way, I'm happy to enjoy it. And but it's very challenging. It's all a matter of building yourself up to the big challenge. And if you're not quite there, that's okay. You can always walk your way back. So yeah.
I love that. That is perfect. All right. Favorite song or songs?
Dress for Success by Roxette, and You Get What You give by the New Radicals. It's all about, you got to have the courage to go and get it, whatever your dream is.
Oh my God, isn't that so true?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Otherwise you just go with the flow of somebody else's vision.
Right. And that is so important, that we need to recognize that we're all very unique individuals and we have our own recipe to success. Whatever it is, you need to listen to your own voice.
All right. What about book or books?
One of my favorite books is Your Soul's Plan by Robert Schwartz, that really taught me about that we all come to life with a soul's plan. Basically, the challenges that we have, sometimes they were chosen before we were incarnated, the parents that we have, the losses that we have, and they all have a purpose. So we need to stop looking at us as victims and starting looking at those challenges as lessons. And I really like that about this book. And it's a combination of channelings with hypnotherapy, and I really enjoy that book. And also another book that I like is The Forbidden Female Speaks by Pamela Creevy, that talks about how many things we don't know about the history of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and how the females of this world need to recover that power that is so innate within us and that we need to respect and that has been suppressed for so long.
Wow. All
Yeah.
right. I can't wait to get both of them. So, what about quotes? Do you have a favorite quote?
There's something that I tell my kids and my husband all the time: when in Rome, do as the Romans do, because I've traveled everywhere in the world. And I tell you, I always hear of that person that doesn't, this is not like at home, or it doesn't taste like at home. And it's like, people do things a different way in different parts of the world because it works for them. So it's all about adaptability, and it's about enjoying how people do things different parts of the world because it works. So don't try to reinvent the wheel and go with the flow.
I love that. Go with the flow. All right. We're
Mhm.
not going for with the flow anymore because I want to know about a superpower you would have for just 24 hours. What would it be?
That's that. I think I would like to have the ability to be in an instant in the mountains. Like it takes me like, gosh, 24 hours to get there because I gotta, fly to LA, then go from LA to Lima, Lima to Cusco or whatever. So I would like to be there in a second and not to have high altitude sickness. Right. And just be there and commune with the mountains and my shaman friends and just, hey, listen, I'm debating this concept right now and I need to have some answers. Can I sit with the mountain and just be there for a millisecond? And I actually do, in my meditative space, the mountains come to me, but that would be my superpower.
That is cool. All right.
Yeah.
That is way cool, way fun, instant, boom, done. All
Yeah.
right. What about motivation? What motivates you?
What motivates me? For my work, I love the impact that I can have in people's lives. I love when people come devastated for some situation, and then in a few in one appointment, sometimes their life is turned around and changed because I I help them change their perspective. So being able to do that magic and change their perspective about life is something that I really enjoy and I love seeing. So, and that's my life purpose.
That's amazing. I love that. All right. So I know you have a gift for our audience, but what's the best way for them to stay connected with you?
Go to my website, which is my name, fabiolabaughman.com. And it's FABIOLABAUGHMAN.com. And I also have a free gift to you for all your audience, which is to use how to use the power of the elements, the wind, the air, the water, the fire, to heal yourself. And that's something that I experienced firsthand on this last journey. So it's just very powerful. And we need to, and by doing that, you can come back to how you were meant to be.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna go get that myself, so I can't wait.
Mhm.
And I know you have a final mic drop moment to leave our audience with. Which words of wisdom do you have for them?
Love yourself as you are. The only person that you need to accept and love is yourself, and go by the rhythm of your own drum. You're unique and you need to follow that path, not somebody else's.
I love that, Fabiola. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. I hope you found inspiration, actionable tips, and a sense of connection with our incredible community of driven women. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share the episode with fellow entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate their game. Remember, your success is just the beginning, and we're here to support you in every step of the way. Until next time, keep shining, keep thriving, and remember, you have the power to create the business and life of your dreams. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.